was that said it looks like the skunk, looks like a skunk? That was Paul.
Skunk.
Well, it does. I mean, take a look.
No, I just thought.
No, it's black with the white. Okay, the whole idea behind the white, as I was saying, you may not have been here, the whole point of the white CDC is your vision.
I guess they didn't want to see it
If-
smoking or joint.
If a pink or an orange or a chartreuse is better for you, then go ahead and use it, is what I'm saying.
The fish won't see
Yeah,
the
the
top.
fish is seeing the bottom. This is what the fish is seeing, right? They're seeing the body with that gray wing, which is there. He called for brown and white. After I produced it, I said, "Oh damn, I should have changed it because I didn't have any brown. At least I used to, but I don't know what happened to it." So, what I'm using, just go through it, is a dry fly. So it's a TMC 100 or any of your standard dry flies. In this case, there's 16. Okay. The body, super fine, black. Okay, the first wing is, I'm using a dark dun CDC, and I've got plenty to pass out. The hackle, this is a 100 pack, and this happens to have a nice black one in there, and a bunch of other colors, so that works out fine. And then the final one, that's actually not white, that's a very light dun CDC. It's not white, it's the light dun CDC. Again, whatever colors will work best for you. Okay, so let's go through. The hardest part of this fly is creating the proper shape of the body and the head. Okay, so that takes a little bit of work, but it's not that hard. Again, when we look at the proportions of the fly, okay, the body itself, or the abdomen, is not 50%, it's just a little bit further, so it's about 2/3, and then the hackle, and then just the big head, okay? Okay, so we're going to start the thread, again, pretty much like we did on the last one, at about the 2/3 location. Then we're going to dub a black superfine. Now, if you wanted to do a cinnamon ant or any of the other color, a red ant or something, obviously you change the color you're dubbing. This one just happens to be black, so we're just going to stay with black. You don't want to do a tapered body. I like to put a little bit of a, let me show you that again. It's kind of a spiraled lower layer. And the reason for that is to grip my CDC so it doesn't slip. And all you're going to need on a 16 is really one feather. Take one CDC, gather it, get it tied in. You can retreat it or trim it, whichever way you would like. You don't want that wing any longer than the body of the fly itself. The abdomen, as I called it. All right, so now you've got your lower wing in. At this point, we tie in our hackle, which is just a black saddle. Like I said, I found this one I got from Tom, and it's got some really nice fine black saddle in it. So it looks really nice. Prep your hackle, tie it in. I don't know if you can, let me take a couple turns. Paul, can you see right here between the body of the fly and where my hackles are? See that piece of bare stem?
Yeah, it's Bill.
A bill, I'm sorry. Can you see that, Bill, right there? Right where my point of my scissors is. See that?
At the base there?
Yeah, right at the base, between the base of these feathers and here. There's just a little bit of bare.
Okay.
Right. That's what I was talking about, dry fly. You want that to be the
start
very first thing to hit the hook. You do the same with that soft tackle fold we did on the other one, right? Okay? 1, 2. I like to do 3 turns. Okay, now my legs are tied in.
For leftovers or before you got to eat it?
Before we got to eat it.
Oh, really?
I put it back in the bowl.
That potato salad was good, Paul.
Thank
Yeah, Julie liked it too.
Okay.
Last 2 nights with dinner.
So now you tie in our light colored CDC before we do anything. You want it underneath the head, otherwise you'll never get it folded back. There we go. Grab a feather. You'll be able to trim it later, so I wouldn't worry about its length at this point. You want to make sure that what's sticking over the eye is long, but I wouldn't be overly concerned with how much or how little.
You're going to fold it back.
I'm going to fold it back anyway. But I also want to make sure, you see how close to the eye I tied that in? Almost right on the eye, because that's where I'm going to be folding it back, right? Then I get rid of my excess. And now I finish off my dubbing, dubbing the head of it. It's going to be shorter, but it's going to be a little bit more robust. Need a little bit more. Just a little more. End your thread behind, or right in front of your hackle button, the back of the head, because that's where you're going to be tying it off at, right? You're going to pull your indicator, I'm going to call it indicator CDC, back. You only need 2 or 3 turns. Do your whip finish. Cut your thread. Take your wing, make it just slightly longer than the lower wing, and that's it. Again, the upper wing is nothing more than an indicator for you. It's not part of the flotation. The lower wing is the flotation segment, not the upper wing.